So my name is Davon Reed, CEO of founder and CEO of Vester crowdfunding platform. Have a special guest tonight. We have Mr. Mike Ealy. He's the owner of $200 million of real estate in his portfolio, including 4 hotels. I never know the apartment complexes, so I just say 200 million, including the 4 hotels. Hey. And tonight he is going to talk more about hotel investing as well as some opportunities to potentially actually invest in hotels. So I'm just going to pass the mic over to Mike, and it's your show.
Okay, so I'm gonna take these headphones, and when you say something, we'll go from there. Davon, if you spotlight me, so I can take, so everybody can see the whole screen, so I'll show this. All right. So you the co-host, so you go ahead, take control. There we go. And if you'll get my screen on, but before we get started, guys, all right, and you pop me up in there so they can see me too. All right. So before we get started, who wants in here to create wealth? All right. Who wants cash flow? If you want to make cash flow, type in the chat cash flow. You know, that passive income. If that's for you, type cash flow. There we go. There we go. So now I know you guys are live here and you're doing good. For those who don't know me, I'm Mike Ealy, and today we're going to talk about how to invest in hotels. Okay. So here we go. The first thing is, why hotels? Look, the number one reason is money. Look, it's about the payday. Yeah, we want to do things for our families. Hotels are sexy, but it's really about the cash that it generates. And I'm going to share with you today why hotels generate a lot more cash, okay? And then I'm going to talk a little bit, but not too much, the depreciation you get. Look, do you realize that not only do you create a lot of cash flow, but you'll create so much depreciation, which is a tax deduction that you can take. So when you create all this deduction, you're basically making the money tax-free. Look, just before I get started, like one of our hotels, we have a net cash flow of $300,000 a year, but I get to take $350,000 in tax deductions for depreciation. Guess what? We did that tax-free. Are you catching that? Are you catching what I'm throwing? Are you putting down what I'm laying down? All right, let's go. Okay. So look, let's just give an example here. So there's multiple streams of massive incomes in a hotel, but let's just compare it to apartment. Now look, I'm talking about apartment buildings, but I still love apartments. I still do apartment deals. Like, that's my bag. And I like hotels as well. But let me show you something here. As you see there, the rent, you can, let's say on a 100-unit apartment, you can rent it for $800 a month, okay? And let's say your occupancy is $90 a month. So if you use the 50-50 expense ratio, meaning you use 50% of that income, right? So 800, all right, times 100, that gives you what, 80,000, is that right? Am I getting my numbers right? Yeah, hold on, I'm gonna do this with you. So let's do the math together, okay? Calculator. I know I'm slow, but here we go. 800 times 100. 80,000 a month, and 80,000 a month times 12, that equals $960,000 a year in cash flow. Now, we're only saying we got 90% occupancy, so we're only going to use 90% of that. That means 864 is the potential gross income, and then we use a 50-50 expense ratio. It'll come out to be $432,000 a year. Now, that sounds pretty good. Does anybody want to make $432,000 a year? Just type in the chat yes. If that's something you would like to make, type yes. Okay, now here's the thing here. Oh, I only got one person. There we go. There we go. There we go. Now that's before debt. But look, check this out. Let's look at a 100-room hotel. At a 100-room hotel, we can charge $100 a night, 365 days a year. Now let's do some math here. Because I'm gonna speed it up here. So $100 a night times 365 days. I'm sorry, that's no, we didn't do that right. Yeah, that's right. That's $36,500. Oh, no, we got to step back. I'm gonna step back here. You got 365 days times a 100-room hotel, that's 36,500 available rooms in a year, okay? Then you multiply that times 100. That means this hotel can gross potentially $3.65 million in a year, okay? Now, but we only got a 65% occupancy, so we multiply that times 0.65. That means we have a gross of $2.3 million. Now, we're not going to keep all of that, right? So times 0.3, typically on a hotel, like you'll net anywhere from 20 to 30%, right? So now that's $711,000 a year. Look at that. A 100-unit apartment did 400, but a hotel did double that. All right, Bond, we're going to answer your question, so don't worry about what's the cap rate, purchase price. We're going to get into that. I'm going to share a lot of details here. Not only do I want to teach you how to be a passive investor, but I want you to understand the numbers, so not only that you can be as sophisticated and thoroughly understand what it is to invest in hotels and how to analyze the numbers. All right, so check this out, man. Hotels make a lot more money, income versus apartment, but that's not all. Look, do you realize now, Bond? Here's your question. Hotels cash flow is bought cheaper. What? Yeah, I know that's crazy, right? So check this out. Let's say you got an apartment building that nets $1 million a year, all right, NOI, and then a hotel nets an NOI of $1 million a year. But check this out. Apartment, you're going to pay a 5 cap. That means you're going to pay $20 million for $1 million cash flow on an apartment. But for the hotel, you can buy that same cash flow for $11 million, half the price. That's crazy. I don't know. Like, I like apartments, I like hotels, but I don't know. You're still netting $1 million. Which one you want? You want to pay 20 million or want to pay 11 million? I don't know. Type in the chat. Which one you want to pay? You want the apartment building or the hotel? Which one you want to pay more? Because you're making the same amount of money. But do you want to pay 20 million, 11 million? You tell me. Yeah, so 11 million. LL said 11 million, right? All right. Hey, slide that over. All right. So look, in a hotel, there's multiple massive income, right? In hotels, multiple streams. Look, some of you thinking like, well, there's a lot of money just selling the rooms. But look, there's food and beverage. There's the bar. Now, one of my hotels has a bar, and I got another one I'm building that has a bar as well, right? But you're going to generate a lot of income. There's also food, right? Now, depending on the brand, depending on the hotel, quite frankly, guys, uh, you sometimes these brands, the beverage are amenity. So it's not that they're profitable. Sometimes they're a loss leader. But if you're in the right location, you can make a lot of money, especially if you're doing banquet space. All right, there's meeting space. Do you realize some hotels actually give the meeting space away just so they can put heads in beds? Now, typically, you're only going to see that in the smaller hotels, like let's say you got a Hampton Inn or a Holiday Inn, and uh, it doesn't have that 10,000 square foot, but for something that's got like, can hold 40, 50 people, they may get the room away for free or just rent it out for $300. Look, there's convenience stores, there's laundry machines, there's vending equipment. My Hampton Inn, it generates like $600-700 a month in coin laundry. My extended stay does even more. And then my what was the convenience store in my Hampton Inn? It does $30,000 a year. Just the store. All right, you got laundry room in some of the full service places. Look, why multiple streams of income? Look, having additional, just look at these numbers here, right? Look at the numbers here, guys. 100,000 in additional net operating income from other property, other streams. You divide that by an 8 cap, it created $1.2 million in additional income. Guys, just by having other sources of income. I still like to use like multiple streams of income, right? anything related to what I'm doing, I like to generate more income. And creating the store, having these vending machines, having the banquet space, that's going to help create more value and push the value up on your hotel. Now, another reason why hotels? Well, let me tell you something. They're franchise businesses with a model, right? A model already in place. So you don't have to reinvent the wheel. Look, with some of these hotels, um, it's really the real good thing about that is one, you got a brand loyalty. Let me ask you this: Who? What's your favorite brand? All right, are you a Marriott? You a Bonvoy? Are you a Hilton Rewards? Are you a Hyatt? Are you a Choice? Type in the chat. What's your brand? What's your brand loyalty? We got Hilton and Hampton. All right. Anybody does the Marriott's? Any Bonvoy? Hilton. Hilton. LL likes Hilton. IHG. Okay. Hilton, Marriott, Gaylord. See, the reason why you go with these brands a lot of times is because 50% of your reservations are going to come from the brand. They're going to come from the brand. They literally going to go in, type in, and find out Marriott, type in whatever local hotel is there, and they're going to pick their hotel based on that. Now, some hotels, some people go out, look for the best deal, so they'll use Expedia. But most of the time, they're branded, and that's why you want to use a global. They have a global customer base, and they can put you in business, and it's all a franchise. All right, switching back. So a lot of people, what the myth is, people don't realize you can buy a branded hotel. Yes, you can buy a branded hotel. You don't have to like. Uh, all brands are not owned by the franchise. Like Marriott, I mean, there's Marriott, but he doesn't own the hotel. Why? I'm gonna tell you because I own one. Hilton, they franchise that. How can I know? Because I own one, and I own the ISG. So I know a lot of people think now Hyatt at one time owned all their hotels, right? But they don't do that anymore. They franchise a lot of their hotels out now. And so you buy these branded hotels because one, you can sell them at a higher cap rate. So like Marriott and Hilton's, a lot of those are going to sell in the 7 to 8 cap rate, whereas a Holiday Inn may sell at a 9 cap, right? But you're leveraging people's systems. So one thing you want to get successful, I always talk about the ultimate OP strategies and techniques. Leverage on OPS, other people's systems. And that's why we do these branded hotels. Now, look, I'm gonna tell you, you don't always need to do a branded hotel if it's an amazing destination area or a high traffic area. But for the most part, you want to do that. So, guys, who am I? And here's I'm gonna share an example of hotel deals I've done. All right, here I go. This is my family, and no, we're not zombies, but this is what we like to do. Back in 2002, 2003, I lost it all. I literally went from broke to millions, and I did write a book about it, and I'll share it with you. But currently, I'm doing a development in downtown Sarasota, prime, $120 million hotel condo, hybrid. Uh, I teach hundreds of thousands of people about hotel investing and about apartment investing. I yearly I have over 200 students that I work with intimately, teaching them how to acquire apartments, hotels, and raise millions of dollars in private capital. I'm an author, husband, and I coach all my kids in all their sports. So you can find me at NassauInvest.com. Okay. Now, here's a case study of what I did. Now, look, this deal right here is the actual deal that we did. Actually, me and Davon, she's one of the partners on this deal. I bought this hotel in COVID. Yes, when everybody else was running away from the hotels, I ran into them. I bought an extended stay, which is doing extremely well. And it's Hampton Inn. We just renovated it, and now literally we're putting all these hotels on the market and to exit out. All right, so we're about to come in full circle. This was 145 key hotel, 86 key Hampton Inn. The bottom line is we were all in for about 18 million. We were in for about 18 million, and now we're going to sell it. But look, let's look at the numbers. I don't want to talk. Let's look at the numbers. So this stay bridge will have a NOI 1.5, right? We got it to about 1.3 one year. We dropped down to 1 because we're doing some renovations. Now this is time to push it back up, but we probably sell before that. But it will create a value of 17 million. The Hampton Inn, 800,000, right? And NOI, that could create a value of 10 million, total 2.1 million in cash flow, total value 27. Now look, this is not including the cash flow, but this has a potential of a $10 million upside. $10 million. Okay, let me ask you this. I'm all in for 18 and potentially worth 28. Let me ask you this. If this hotel sold for $23 million, right? Is that right? That'll be 5 million. No, let's say 22. Let's say 22. If this hotel sold for 22 million, we netted $4 million. Would you be okay with that? If you're okay with that, tap 4 million. Right? If that's a yes, people kind of said that. Yes, anybody else be comfortable with that? Somebody asked what was my down payment on that. We actually assumed the debt on that. So really, technically, we didn't have a down payment, but we did bring money to the table because we brought about $1 million to do finished renovations, and then we bought another 3 million to bring the loan current and have some reserves. So technically, now if I would have bought that deal on a straight market, I would have had to bring like $8 or $10 million to the table, right? $8 or $10 million. So these are amazing deals, and we're about to exit out of here. Okay. Now, why is now the time? Why is it now o'clock? Why should you be buying hotels? Why should you be investing in hotels? It's the $250 billion opportunity. Okay. Especially hotels. Like literally, there's over $250 billion hotel mortgages coming due. They're maturing this year. Now, it could be a wave of foreclosures. Now, but the only way you're going to get into these deals, you got to be in the network. It's not going to be on the open market. It's going to be tied to brokers. You're going to have the relationships. It's going to be through these servicers. And through these servicers and these brokers, this is how we're finding deals, right? And the sweet spot is finding the right hotel because where the market is. And we found, going through this cycle, we found the key on being successful in hotels as well. Now I'm going to share some of the timelines. Now, I share this, but honestly, I don't think this is really that big of a deal, right? Because the way the deals are going to go down, they are going to go in default, but it's going to stay with the servicer and the broker. And those are the people you're going to have to make relationships to get these deals done. So like in pre-foreclosure, JV comes in, takes over the assumption. That's what I did. Or they're going to do a short sale, they're going to buy the note. Me in particular, I like doing the JV and assuming the note. Why? Because it's limited the amount of capital that I need to bring. Or you can buy these hotels at the auction. I mean, 10X has been doing really well on auction off deals, and I found a lot of deals on 10X. But I really went with the relationships. And then they're going to be the bank REOs. But really, guys, I don't think you're going to have that because now the way the market is, a lot of people don't want to pay that much. And so these hotels, I mean, these CMBS debt funds, whatever, believe their property is worth so much more. It's not. And so I've seen properties sit on the market for a while. So that's why you want to get in before it goes there. Here's a deal that we did. Davon was in on this deal with me as well. We're exiting out of here as well. We did assumption on this 85 key. It was worth 12 million. Like literally, it was built in 2017, 2018. We're going to get out of here 2023. We assumed debt of 8.3. We did no money down. Literally, I bought $11 million hotel. All I brought was $1 million that we raised between, I don't know, 12 people. And they waived my assumption fee. And the only reason we had to bring money is to bring some things current and to have money in reserves. All right. I mean, technically, this was a no money down deal. All right. Isn't that amazing? Like, can you imagine buying a hotel? And it was extended stay, it was killing it. I mean, but I'm gonna tell you all the different secrets. But I'm not gonna go too deep in that today. Uh listen, here's one thing. How to invest in hotels. You gotta know how to evaluate the hotels right and work with the right team. And that's why we're here today, because we're the right team for you to help you get to the next level, whether you want to be passive or active. But today we're talking about being passive. Now, literally, that hotel you see, that's my hotel right there. That's the top is the before, and right below is the after. That's exactly what we did. We spent $5 million renovating that courtyard, which there's going to be an opportunity to discuss that later. I won't go into detail today, but you can be a part of an existing hotel that all we did was renovate. Now it's time to ramp it up, and then we're going to exit in 2 years or less. All right, so let's get in some basic underwriting. Now I'm going to go to my screen here, and I'm going to show you a few things here. Maybe not. Can you get that for me? Is it here? Oh, get my pen. Oh no, it disappeared. Ain't this some biscuits here? All right, so look. Flip that screen. Oh, it should be here. Okay, there we go. There we go. Here we go. So look, there's some basic things that you need to know. As you see on the screen, there's ADR, okay? There's occupancy, there's NOI, because you want to know a percentage of the gross, and there's cap rate, okay? If you want to analyze deals, those are the basic things that you need to know so that you can be dangerous and analyzing deals, okay? All right. So here's the basic formula when analyzing a deal. So here, I'm gonna write this out with you. So let's say, all right, everybody see it here. You got an ADR, right? And I don't know if you say, I was saying the ADR. I don't want to use purple, red. Red. Let's use black here. All right. So let's say you got ADR of $90. We'll just do 90. Okay, you got $90. And then we want to multiply that times 365 days. Okay. Then you multiply it times the number of keys. The number of keys are the number of rooms that you have. Okay. This one is 100-room hotel. So we multiply that times 100. And let's say the occupancy is 65%. So we multiply that times 0.65. Then as you got 0.65, then you multiply a percentage of the gross, and we're going to say it's netting like 30% of growth. Look, literally, you can lump all this in together, and then you divide it by the cap rate. Let's see what exact cap rate. We're going to use 8.5 in this example. So 0.085 is the cap rate we're going to use. So you multiply 90, right? That's the ADR times 365 times the number of rooms times the occupancy times the net, and you divide it by that. Okay, so look, let's look at the numbers, what that come up to. All right, you already saw it, but 90 times 365 whoop, 90 times 365 times 100 times 0.65 times 0.3 divided by 0.085. You create a value of $7.5 million. 7.5, let's just round off the three. $7.53 million on a deal. That sounds pretty good, right? That sounds pretty good. But that's the basic thing that you need to know. If you're going to be a savvy investor and invest in hotels, you got to understand how they determine the value. And just right there, I gave you a simple solution how to determine the value. But in order to determine the value, a couple of things you need to know. You got to have the ADR, you got to have the number of keys, you got to have the occupancy, and the potential ratio, you can always use about 30%. And then you just divide it by the cap rate. That's the basic way on analyzing a deal. Now, I can show you, if we have more time, I'll show you something even simpler that you won't spend all this time analyzing the deal. Okay. Now, when we go after deals, All right, we like to get equity multiples of 3x. Now, what does that mean? That means, here, let me tell you this. So a 3x, a 2x means you doubled your monies, right? So let's say like this, 2.0. No, let me go back. Let me take you back one. 1.0 means this one means you got 100% of your money back. Okay. One, if they say you got a 1x, that means whatever you invested, you got 100%. If you get a 2x back, that means you doubled your money. That means you got your principal and you got another profit, right? You got two of that. If you got a 3x, that means you tripled your investment. Okay. When we do deals, we always strive to go for a 3x. And the reason why we're going 3x is that means if we did that, our investors will at least double their money. All right. So as an investor, you want to be able to double your money and be passive. And typically something like that takes 3 to 5 years to do. Sometimes if we're lucky enough, we'll do it in 2 years. But a lot of times 3 to 5 years is the typical exit strategy. But that's not always the case. Sometimes it happens faster. Okay. So and listen, a 2 to 2.5 equity multiplier turns into an 18 to 25% IRR. Now, what is IRR? IRR is internal rate of return. And what that basically does is take time, value, and money. So, in other words, in layman's terms, let's say over a 5 year period, you only made 5% one year, 7% another year, 10% another year, and then 13 and 13 or whatever. Okay. Let's say you made that much during that period of time. But when you sold, you had a big cash flow outlay. So when you calculate internal rate of return, that takes into consideration all the net cash flow that you receive plus the net proceeds. So it calculates to say like this: 25% IRR, even though you only receive 6, 10, 13 over that period of time, it calculates the proceeds over a 5 year period and says, well, this return was similar to me almost making 20% or 25% a year. That's what it's saying when you take in all the net cash flow and all the net proceeds. All right. Now, here's an actual deal that I'm doing in Sarasota, Florida. This is a credit-only investor project. We're developing a 120 key hotel, 35 condos. These condos are selling at $1,200 a square foot. So if you don't really understand what that means, is basically we got 2,000 square feet per condo. They're selling for 2.4 million. All right, 2.2 to 2.4 million on the average of these condos. Okay. So this is a major project. We already sold 6 of them. It's prime downtown Sarasota, not too far from Siesta Key. And literally from that's an actual view of the hotel. We're breaking ground. We may break ground, I don't know, maybe the end of the year. Interest rates are higher. And that's why we think we're going to wait a little bit, because if we wait, we'll add even another additional $5 to $8 million in value. The reason why I love this deal so much, literally, we'll sell the condos. Now, here's the math. This is a $120 million project. We'll sell the condos, generate over $90 million in sales. So now we're in this hotel for $35 million. The hotel's going to be worth $50-60 million. Right? Are you seeing the value there? Are you catching that? That's why we like that deal. That is a credit investor deal. And when I mean credit, that means you have to have a net worth of $1 million or make over 200,000 a year, or if you're combined income over 300,000. And look, if you're not accredited, that's okay. That's fine. We have plenty of deals for non-accredited investors as well. But here's this is my deal here. These are the type of returns you would get. We'll hold this for 6 years. We're actually in our second year period, but we should break ground probably by the end of the year. Not the end of this year, but next year. and what else we got? And that's actual designs of the actual hotel. All right. Hey guys, if you want to learn more about investing, okay, all you got to do is text investor to 206-803-8068. 206-803-8068. Let me check. We got plenty of projects. Now there's one project because of certain regulations, I'm not allowed to share the proposal, but I can tell you this. We have a Marriott Courtyard that we're going to offer some shares to. If the renovations are complete, now we're going into ramp up session next year, and then we will exit. So you could be a part of something that's already done and ready to go, and we should be exiting in 2 years, maybe three. It's an amazing market in that area. And the other thing we're going to do, if you guys invest, we're going to do something special, and then I'm going to let Davon come back in here. We're going to do something special. If the first group, the first what is the first four people that invest $25,000 in a deal, the first four people that invest $25,000 in a deal, what we're going to do, we'll give you an autograph book. Not only will you get a hotel, first of all, you're going to be an owner of a hotel. You'll get a free signed copy of the book. You also get a free T-shirt. Not only that, when you're in Columbus, 3 or 4 times a year, you'll get to stay absolutely free. All right, for the first people. Now, for the first 2 people that invest $50,000 in a hotel deal, guess what? Not only would you get the free autograph book, the free T-shirts, you'll get to stay whenever, if you ever come into Columbus, you'll stay at the hotel for free. And not only that, you will get 4 discount passes to stay anywhere in the world with the Marriott Courtyard at a discount. Now, let me tell you something. My discount, you get that discount. And I sometimes stay in hotels for $40. I've been in Cabo and stayed for like $80, and it was like $1,000 a night. When I go to the Ritz in Sarasota, Florida, when they charge $1,000, I'm paying $150, right? So that opportunity is for you if you move now, okay? But look, I just wanted to share with you some of the amazing opportunities on how to invest in hotels. I'm going to take a few questions. You can type it in the chat. But if this information was useful, just type in the chat and say yes. That of 50,000 invested 25,000.
Are you trying to say is that only for
Oh, I'm not
50,000
sure.
investors or 25? You trying to do more?
She's saying something.
Yeah, you trying to do more, Ronaldo? We trying to get the question. It says, is that only for 50,000 investors or 25? You trying to do more?
No, we doing more. You can do more.
Oh, you trying to do less? No, yeah, that's the minimum.
Yeah, no, the minimum is 25,000. But if you
Yeah.
go through a Vestor platform, you can come in less. But if you want to take advantage of some of these different options, and you come in now, these are some of the things that you will benefit off of. That's all. Uh,
So it's the question. It says, what's the cap on the investment account?
They can invest. We're raising $1 million for the courtyard. Sarasota, we're raising just shy of 13 million. We already raised 10 million, and we're going to go ahead and close the gap with another 5 million on that. So that's the cap now. And what's the cap amount? There's no cap on what you can invest, but it's a minimum of $25,000. But if you come through Vestor, I believe you can come in less than that. Is that correct, Davon? Or am I saying that correct?
Yeah, you could. Yeah, because I think you're taking fractional investment. So yeah. But it was another question. It says, why would you recommend investing in hotels or apartments, and why? Thank you.
Yeah, so it depends on what your goal is, um, and the opportunity. Like I look at every deal as an opportunity. So um, there's some apartment deals I would do because look, like for example, I found some apartment deals where I could buy for like 25, let's say 30,000 a door. It only needed 10,000 a door. So I would be all in for 40. But I knew it'd be worth 70,000. So I'll have a $30,000 net profit on 100 units. Right? That's $3 million. Right? So I'm gonna do that deal. Because we know that and it's not a lot of headache. Uh, I found some smaller hotels that I know I can flip and I can get in and get out, and it's extended stay. So those are good. It just really on what your goal is. But with hotels, maybe some of you have too much income, some taxable income. Well, with hotels, you get so much depreciation, uh, you get a large tax deduction that can help offset your gains. So it really just depends on your goal and what you're trying to accomplish. Okay. Uh,
We
okay.
got another question that says, how much equity do we get for the contribution for the courtyard deal?
Uh, Again, I have to share that, or we can't go too much in detail.
Yeah, we'll do a separate pitch. So what I'll do is we'll send the email out, and for the folks who are interested in investing in the deals that Mike mentioned, you can send a text to the number, or you when I send the email out with the replay, you can just simply respond, and we'll get all that information. We'll do a separate pitch where Mike will just go through all the details of both deals.
Yeah, George Fry, what's up, brother? How you doing, man? He asked, can you explain how to calculate the equity multiple? I'm trying to learn how to tell much expenses in different hotels. I know extended stay should be. All right, so you know what? I'm gonna show the equity multiple real quick for you, George. You help me right here. Okay, so how you calculate equity multiple? So basically, uh, you'll take the net cash flow, all right, net cash flow plus the equity in the deal that you put in the deal divided by the equity that you put in the deal. That will give you equity multiple. All right. So over the life of the deal, let's say, and I'm sorry, plus I'll put it right here. Let me write it. Let me rewrite it. It's net proceeds plus equity. So let's say over a 2-year period, you made $250,000 in cash flow, and then you sold it, and it netted $1 million, and then y'all invested $1 million. So then you divide it by $1 million, right? So what this is saying is 250,000 plus 2 million, right? Because you made $1 million and you invested $1 million, and you divide it by $1 million. Your equity multiple on this deal is 2.25. That means you made 225% on your money. All right? 225% on your money. And that probably took, I don't know, anywhere from 3 to 5 years. Okay? Can you run us back on how to evaluate the hotel deal again? Numbers again, please. Thank you. And that was Vincent Wallace. Well, you know what, Vincent? Absolutely, brother. Here we go. So the key things on analyzing a hotel is you got to know the ADR, you got to know the occupancy, and you got to know the number of keys or the number of rooms, all right? Those are the 3 things that you need to know. And let's say in this example, it's $100 for the ADR. Occupancy is 70%. and the number of keys is 85. All right. Now, so the first thing you need to do is you take the number of keys and multiply that times 365. Why is that? Because you need to find out the number of rooms you can sell per year. So 85 times 365. Now get your calculators out because I ain't doing all this work. I ain't doing all this work. All right, so somebody tell me in the chat, what's 85 times 365? Somebody tell me. You pull that up so I can see somebody get the answer. We got Vince got me. So what is that? Anybody? Am I by myself? Vince, you said you got me. Okay, what did I say? 31,025. Thank you, everybody. That's 31,025 days out of the year. Okay, 31,025 days out of the year. Now it's 70% occupancy. So I'm not gonna use a full 31,000. I'm gonna do 70% of that. So what's 70% times 31,000? Somebody give that to me. 31,025 times 0.70. What that give me? That's gonna give you the number of days. Anybody? What's that? I got somebody says 21,717. Is that right? I got another 21,717. Can I get one more? Is that right? Okay, I'm going with y'all math. So 21,712 available days out of the year. That's how many days we have a year. Now I want to calculate. Now I want to determine what's the gross revenue. All right, the gross revenue. So you take $100 times the number of days out of a year, and you created 2,171,000 there. Right? Is that right? Yes. $2,171,200, and that's the gross revenue per year. All right. Hypothetically, would be to return 20. I don't know that question. I have to come back to that one. All right. So that's the gross revenue. Now, depending on if you have a what we call a extended stay, or full service, or limited service. Now, limited service is like a Hampton Inn, Courtyard kind of full of that, but full service is like whenever they got a bar, restaurant, and a banquet space. Extended stay are like your Hampton Inns, Residence Inn, all right? But let's just say we got a limited service. You should net at least 30% of that. So now we multiply that 2 million times 0.3, and this is going to give us our NOI. So somebody multiply that 2.1 million times 30%. What do you get? Anybody got the answer? Drum roll. Uh-oh. I don't know. I think we lost him. Come we there? Are we there? All right, there we go. Somebody got it. That's right. You get an NOI of 651,360. That is your NOI. Then you divide it by the market cap rate, and that'll determine your value. So let's go over here. And let's just say this hotel is selling at an 8 cap. So we say 651, 360 divided by an 8 cap. This will give us our value. What is that? Divided by 0.8. Anybody have that? I'm gonna see if y'all got it right. Jennifer came up with 8.1. Anybody else? Anybody else divide that cap rate? What's your answer? I just got Jen. Jen, you're right there. That's what I got too. Great job. That is the value of this hotel. So look, if you can calculate that based off the existing information, so if somebody came and said, hey, I'm selling this hotel for $10 million, right? And you just calculated the value and it was 8.1, would you do that deal? Yes or no? Type in the chat, yes or no. If they were trying to sell it for 10 million and it was worth that, right? No. So these are some of the basic things that how you guys can do to evaluate the deal to know if it's good or not. Now, one thing to consider though, one thing that could change all of this though, is yes, based on those numbers I shared with you, I wouldn't do that deal. But if we found out we could charge, I don't know, $150 ADR, would you do that deal then? Type in chat yes or no, or say, or tell me, and tell me why you think you would do that deal. If not, or we could do the numbers real quick. I'll do them for them. But I want to see anybody, if you can now say, look, they're gonna sell for 10 million, and then you can fix it up. Yeah, that's a fair answer. Nicole said not sure. All right, well, let's look. Let's do the numbers real quick. I'm gonna do it here on my calculator since we already kind of know it. So we know we got 31,000 a year, a day. So we got 21,700 days out of a year we can do. But now, instead of multiplying $100, we're gonna multiply $150 to this 21,000 days. So 150 times 21,712. That gives us 3.256 million. And then if we do 30%, right? You got that? That's what I got. That's the number we got. If we can do it to 850 for people on Instagram, if we do 3.2 million and we take 30% of that, 3.256, 800 times 30%, that now gives us an NOI. I'm gonna write it over here. That now gives us an NOI of 977,040. All right. I'm gonna scoot this out of the way, okay? So if we divide this by 8 cap, what does that give us? Somebody give me the answer. $977,040 divided by 8 cap. What? $12 million. Thank you, Jennifer. So now, would it have been worth to pay 10 million for that if we could have created this value? Yes. There you go. Hey guys, those are the basic things. That's all you got to do. That's the basic math of doing hotels. Hey, look, guys, I won't hold you guys up. We're only supposed to be here for an hour. We got 5 minutes. I took some questions. I hope this information was useful. Will you type in the chat? Was this? Were you catching what I'm throwing? If you liked what I was sharing, put the money bag in there, or just type money. All right. If we drop some nuggets, type money in the chat. Because how can we reach me? We got that text number. You can text us at 206-803-8068. Text Vester, all right? I'm glad we dropped gems, and that's what we're here for. Look, yeah, we want to make money, but ultimately we're here to provide a service to uplift you guys, to educate you so that you can get into hotel deals. Look, do you need to go out and buy 50 different hotels? No, all right? You don't need that. But one hotel would be great, even if you invested passively. Well, look, I want you guys to succeed, and I want you to touch a part of the dream to supplement that income or help you leave the W-2 or help offset those taxable gains or just buy back more of your time, all right? That's the whole point of investing. So look, I'm going to check out here. I'm going to let Davon share a couple of words, and then we'll close out. Davon, you got anything to say here, wonderful?
No, you handle everything. Thank you, Mike, so much.
Okay. Well, guys, it's been wonderful seeing you today. And thank you so much. But text Vester at 206-803-8068. And one of my assistants will reach out to you most likely tomorrow. I'll have somebody reach out. Matter of fact, me or Davon will reach out to you. And Nicole, we'll answer all those questions. You just text us and we'll respond to you. And we're going to host another event to talk about the Marriott Courtyard if you want to invest and catch some of these benefits. So guys, I'm out of here, but like always.
Thank you so much, Mike. If you loved Mike, you enjoyed him, put a fire in the chat. Show him some love.
Put fire, put heart, put something, make me happy. I like, hey, it's like I'm, when the pastor preaching, man, he'd like to get an amen every once in a while, all right? Hey, look, as always, God bless you.
Everyone who signed up will get a replay.
That's right. God bless you. God keep you. May God bless you beyond your belief, but not your capacity. And remember, you're one big deal away. Peace.
Thank you, Mike.
I was born to be the greatest. Yeah, I was born to be your favorite. Look, I'm on the billboard. I made it. That's what I dream every day, so I say it. Yeah, I used to be broke though. Money was so-so. Used to be low though.